Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Wreck-It Ralph, featuring the voices of John C. Reilly, Jack McBrayer, Sarah Silverman, Jane Lynch, and Alan Tudyk, and directed by Rich Moore. Now, I remember seeing this in theaters thinking, this is a colorful movie, but will I like it? No, let's get into this, shall we? Ralph narrates his life for the past as a wrecker / bad guy on the arcade game Fix-It Felix Jr. for 30 years, and I really like the retro video game style of the game, and Ralph, voiced by John C. Reilly, wants to be a good guy and earns medals, and doesn't want to be a bad guy anymore. And the movie has a style where it says stick to the program or else they go turbo, which I'll bring up later on. And if he dies in another game, he dies for real. And I really enjoy Ralph as a character. I can relate to him. Fix-It Felix Jr., voiced by Jack McBrayer, is the hero in the game, and I also like him in the role of Fix-It Felix Jr. Ralph desperately wants a medal and goes to Tappers for advice and runs into a guy in the game called Hero's Duty, where he fights bugs with a lady soldier named Calhoun, voiced by Jane Lynch, who will have a relationship with Fix-It Felix Jr., and I think she's hilarious, as well as Ralph going into a video game that's scary and violent. And Ralph's reaction makes me laugh until Ralph goes into a sweet candy racing game called Sugar Rush. While in Sugar Rush, Ralph tries to get his medal back and meets Vanellope, voiced by Sarah Silverman, who honestly I'm not a fan of, not the character but the actress, because I personally think the actress is annoying, but the character is cute, and the animation on the video game versus the world of the movie is absolutely breathtaking. I watched this on my 4K TV with the 4K disc. Here it is right here. This is my 4K disc of Wreck-It Ralph. And it looks amazing in this world. The ruler Sugar Rush, King Candy, voiced by Alan Tudyk, is an interesting character and with an interesting arc. I really like how his Oreo guards doing the march like the Wizard of Oz, like yo, whoa, and I'll get to the backstory at the end. The Devil Dogs, which is like the Devil's Oreos or something, and that makes me laugh. The other racers in Sugar Rush destroy the car Vanellope made on her own. Ralph helps her out, and I like the fact their friendship grows slowly and more caring for their arcs. I think it's brilliant. We find out from Fix-It Felix Jr. the story of a Turbo named Turbo-tastic, and how jealous he got of another game plugged in and goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Get it? And get both games terminated from the arcade, and I really like that backstory. I like the mini game where Vanellope and Ralph make Vanellope's car, and I failed to bring up that about Vanellope's glitches. And the other characters bully her around, which is sad, but I like how both she and Ralph make the car, and suddenly out of the blue, she doesn't know how to drive a car. And I again like how their friendship grows by this point in the movie. King Candy gets Ralph's medal and gives it back to Ralph on the condition that he tells Vanellope not to race. And Ralph smashes her car and goes back to Fix-It Felix Jr. And the reason is when Vanellope glitches at her own game and dies with it. And Ralph goes to Gene, who was ignorant to Ralph at the beginning of the movie, about how he's the bad guy, and how I felt bad for everyone then when Felix is in the Fungeon, which is half fun, half dungeon, which doesn't sit well with me either. And Ralph realizes Vanellope is one of the stars of the game, and Ralph gets Vanellope back into the race, gets Felix out of the Fungeon, and suddenly Calhoun realizes Sugar Rush is doomed, and King Candy glitches into Turbo-tastic, which was an interesting twist, and Ralph tries to get Vanellope out of there, but can't, and Ralph beats up Turbo Bug and succeeds and terminates King Candy, and as it turns out, Vanellope is a princess. That was a problematic ending because that snuck in a princess movie in here. And I thought, why would you do that? Just let the movie be what it is. Ralph, Felix, and Calhoun and Vanellope return to their own games, with Felix and Calhoun getting married and Ralph being the best man, and Ralph and Vanellope get accepted for who they are in their own games. I really like that message and ending of the movie. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 7.9 out of 10. I had a fun time with this movie, and I really like the retro gaming of the old video games, and I really like these characters and their arcs and themes, but the only issue I had was they snuck in a princess movie. But otherwise, it's a good old family time at the movies. So I will be back next week with Ralph Breaks the Internet, and until next time, I'm gonna wreck it!